Hi everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. In this video, I will continue to discuss North Pole-shift ramifications. If you watched my previous video on North Pole-shift, I discussed the book that was written by Chen. The title is The Adam and Eve Story. It was declassified by the CIA in year 2013. But of course, some of the important information they probably deleted that before they declass it. But anyway, we still can get some hints from Chen. Okay, let's get started. The declassified book by Chen, The Adam and Eve Story. It was released and approved by CIA on June 24th, year 2013. Let's look at the contents. The next cataclysm, the Great Floods, which is Noah's flood, and Adams and Eve, etc. in the history. The story, the event Genesis, which is the Bible, and conclusion. He mixed his research findings with Bible facts and draw a conclusion at the end of this book. So now let's take a look at the next cataclysm. Like Noah's 6,005 years ago, like Adam and Eve's 11,500 years ago, this too will come to pass. With a rumble so low as to be inaudible, growing, thumping, then foaming into a thundering roar, the earthquake starts. Only it's not like any earthquake in recorded history. In California, the mountains shake like ferns in a breeze. The mighty Pacific rears back and piles up into a mountain of water more than 2 miles high, then starts its race eastward. With the force of 1,000 armies, the wind attacks, ripping, shredding, everything in its supersonic bombardment. The unbelievable mountain of Pacific seawater follows the wind eastward, burying Los Angeles and San Francisco as if they were but grains of sand. Nothing, but nothing, stops the relentless, overwhelming onslaught of wind and ocean. Across the continent, the 1,000-mile-per-hour wind wreaks its unholy vengeance everywhere, mercilessly, unceasingly. Every living thing is ripped into shreds while being blown across the countryside, and the earthquake leaves no place untouched. In many places, the Earth's molten sublayer breaks through and spreads a sea of white-hot liquid fire to add to the Holocaust. Within 3 hours, the fantastic wall of water moves across the continent, burying the wind-ravaged land under 2 miles of seething water coast to coast. In a fraction of a day, all vestiges of civilization are gone, and the great cities, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Dallas, New York, are nothing but legends. Barely a stone is left where millions walked just a few hours before. A few lucky ones who managed to find shelters from the screaming wind on the lee side of Pikes Peak watched the sea of molten fire break through the quirking valleys below. The raging waters follow, piling higher and higher, steaming over the molten earth fire and rising almost to their feet. A new era. Yes, the cataclysm has done its work well. The greatest population regulator of all does once more for man what he refuses to do for himself, and drives the pitiful few who survive into a new stone age. Once more the earth has shifted its 60-mile thick shell, with the poles moving almost to the equator in a fraction of a day. Again, the atmosphere and oceans, refusing to change direction with the Earth's shell, have wiped out almost all life. After this tumble, we join Noah, Adam and Eve, Atlantis, Mu, and Olympus, and Jesus joins Osiris, Tahor-Ora, Zeux, and Vishnu. This scenario is similar to the Hollywood movies 2012 and other Geostorm and other catastrophic movies, and also as described in many prophecies, the New York, LA, and San Francisco will have tsunami after EMP attacks, and also major earthquake will start like in San Francisco, LA, and New Madrid fault line. So I hope you guys will consider this information as an example what will come soon. I think probably sometime in April starting. President Trump has just signed an executive order regarding the potential EMP attacks in US. And also my previous video, I explained that the Passover is on April 4th, and Sister Barbara said that the darkness has begun on September 24th, year 2015, and God led her to prophesize from that day onward to April 6th, year 2019, which is next month. And it's just right after the Passover, 2 days after. Also, today, Pastor Tim, he just had a video said that his intel source told him the U.S. government will strike Venezuela on April 6th. It's exactly the date that Sister Barbara her last day of prophecies. So we are in the transition from the first 3.5 years to the second 3.5 years, which is the second half of the end times. And that's why I think April 6th is the transition date to the second half. And the war between US and Venezuela, I'm sure it will lead to other nations to join in, such as Russia and China, Iran. They supporting Maduro, and they also have troops and weapons stationed in Venezuela already. I think it's since last month, February. And then the conflict will eventually go back to Israel, because again, Russia, China, Iran, Turkey, and other few other nations supporting Iran to attack Israel, and then Israel is supported by US. So in these two countries, the conflict between US, Russia, China, and Iran, and of course North Korea, it will trigger the Third World War in Iran-Israel area after right after April 6th, I'm sure. Then it could also trigger the deep state to look us in US. That's why we will have the EMP attacks and leads to the tsunami and all hell break loose then. That is the second half of the end times, which is war and unrest, famine, death, fire, and everything. Okay, so I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.